the architecture of consciousness, reclaiming presence through breath, language, and memory. After returning from the Berlin retreat, I felt an overwhelming need to clear the table, a symbolic and very real gesture, stripping away the unnecessary and leaving only what flows with deliberate structure. It's a process not unlike architecture, elegant in vision, yet requiring the brute force of will to shape. There's a tension between flow and form, surrender and structure. That's where the clarity emerges. I often think of the philosophers, the ones bathed in light, not simply as intellectuals, but as messengers, light warriors, if you will. They remind us of resilience, of intellectual courage, of presence in times of fragmentation. I choose to trust this journey, though it does not always explain itself. You're doing well, I remind myself. A phrase that's simple but essential. A love that surrounds and strengthens me. A love that gives me the courage to show up fully as I am. Dream impressions and the living symbols of the mind. Dreams from the retreat were vivid, symbolic, and multi-layered. I was visited by imagery, a chessboard. Tiles, gates reminiscent of Lübeck. Scandinavian flags, black with white crosses, invoking the spiritual heritage of Finland, Norway, and the broader northern traditions. These flags seem to whisper of thresholds, of transitions, of crossing into new realms of perception. They pointed to a Christian archetype deeply embedded in the psyche, a beacon of light held within ancient darkness. Do they speak of death and rebirth, of endings, or simply of the gravity of presence? From that sacred light, darkness also emerges, not as an enemy, but as its twin, a full spectrum, a whole truth. So I practice presence. I return to my heartbeat. I track my breath. I live here now. You are strong. You are healthy. You are healed. I am healed. I am whole. Two, the past-future extraction technique. Now, let me offer you something practical. A tool I've personally used to recenter and recalibrate. If you haven't already, make the 5-strata breath method your close companion. Use it until it becomes second nature and recognize that in truth, it already is. It's a remembering of what your body knows but your mind forgets. Now combine that breath with the past-future extraction technique. It's incredibly effective at returning your scattered energy, whether lost in memories or projections, into the present moment. Because here's the reality, there is no past or future. All you carry with you from those places is emotional residue. Pain, fear, anxiety, they're energy drains. They siphon your vitality while building illusions you mistake for preparation or survival. This exercise will help you bring all of that energy home, to your body, to the now. Part 1, bringing past energies into the present. Begin the 5-strata breath. Close your eyes. With your mind's eye, look to your left side. Picture a long line stretching to the left, a representation of your entire past. Everything you've ever done, everything done to you, all the way back to birth. Speak aloud in a strong, confident voice. I now retrieve all of my energies from the past and all past events, and I take all of those energies back to the perfect place in my true self now. Take a strong inhale. Feel those energies return to your present. Cannonball the breath out with force. One strong exhale through the mouth. Feel the release. Part 2. Bringing future energies into the present. Keep breathing with the 5-strata method. Close your eyes. Now look to your right side, into the future. Picture all your projected fears, worries, and assumptions stretching forward to infinity. Speak aloud. I retrieve all of my energies from the future and worries about the future, and I take all of those energies back to the perfect place in my true self now. Inhale deeply, retrieving that projected energy. Cannonball the breath out once more. Release. Breathe normally. Integrate what you've just done. You've brought your energy home from projection to presence. Repeat this often. Each time it will deepen. You'll become more grounded, more available to yourself. If you're unsure this process works, or if doubt creeps in, ask yourself these quantum questions aloud. Why is it true that this process works for me whether I understand it or not? Why is it true that this process always works whether I believe it or not and whether I feel it or not? Let your subconscious go to work. You don't need to answer these questions. The asking is enough. The language grid, memory, vocabulary, and consciousness expansion. This is where we build the mind with words. Each week we focus on one of the 990 most important words in the English language and their 3,610 core synonyms. These are not arbitrary. Every modern word and phrase can be traced to one of these categories. It's a linguistic map, a multi-dimensional system based on Roget's thesaurus, adapted into what I call the permanent memory sphere. If you're serious about expanding consciousness, this is essential. Translate these core words into your native and target languages. This is how I began. Without this foundation, the insights I've gained wouldn't have been possible. We're not just memorizing vocabulary, we're embedding conceptual architecture into our thinking. Word 170, insubstantiality. 100, desert. 70, case, container, enclosure. So imagine a case in the desert, empty. What does it mean? Insubstantiality, the absence of weight, of meaning. But if we inject meaning, symbols, stories, consonant anchors, we awaken the memory. Let's go deeper. NS, nose. Or NASA, Nazi. BS, bus. Or pizza, pizza. TN, thin. Or tuna, DNA. So imagine this, you find a case in the middle of a desert. Inside, a NASA badge, a pizza slice, and a can of tuna. Bizarre? Maybe, but unforgettable. That's the point. There was a desert. Wide, silent, waiting. In the middle, a case. Not locked, not hidden, just there. A child opened it. Inside, a NASA badge, old, shiny, full of stars. A slice of pizza, cold, wrapped, still smelling like joy. A can of tuna, heavy, simple, real. Strange things, but not useless. NASA was a dream. Pizza was comfort. Tuna was strength. The child smiled, closed the case, and walked into the desert. Everything outside stayed the same, but inside, something had changed. Let's look at the sounds hidden in the story. NASA, NS, pizza, PZ, tuna, TN, write it as NS, PZ, TN, in substantiality. Now the abstract becomes memorable. You can spell, pronounce, and understand insubstantiality with ease. It now means something. Word 180, not environment. Dessert, 100. Number 80, FS, vase, and NT, nod. Imagine a vase in the desert. It tips, it nods. It spills out, nothing, naught. Emptiness defined. This is a picture of negation. The moment of something turning into nothing. There was a desert so quiet, even the wind seemed to tiptoe. In the middle of that desert sat a vase, beautiful, cracked, and half buried in the sand. No one knew how it got there. Maybe the wind brought it. Maybe a story did. One day, a child came walking alone, tired from questions they couldn't answer. They saw the vase, knelt beside it, and tilted their head with a gentle nod, like saying, I see you. Inside the vase was naught. Not a coin, not a note, not a drop of water, just emptiness. But the child didn't look sad. They smiled, because they understood the vase wasn't broken and it wasn't useless. It held negation. It held nothing, and sometimes nothing is where everything begins. They sat quietly beside it, and for the first time the desert didn't feel empty at all. Word 190, nothing, 100, desert, BS, Pisa, NT, nude, NK, Nike. Visualize a nude figure standing near the leaning tower of Pisa wearing Nike sneakers, alone in the desert. It's a surreal image, but it sticks. Why? Because it attaches emotion, absurdity, and environment to an otherwise abstract word. Nothing becomes a moment, a story. Word 200, zilch. We've moved into the next. Environment, castle. 200, nobility. ZL, solo. CH, joy. Picture a royal figure in a grand castle, standing alone, solo, laughing with joy, CH. Yet, there's zilch around them. No people, no audience. The castle is echoing with empty joy. You remember the paradox. Word 210, 0. Now we jump to 1030 in the memory sphere. 1000, sound. 30, Messiah. Replaces moose. 000, SSS. Singing. ZR, Zorro. Now build the picture. A Maasai warrior standing in a vast soundscape, singing to the horizon. Behind him, Zorro slicing zeros into the air with his blade. Symbolically, 0, the number, the concept, sings. It slices. It defines absence by gesture. These images embed meaning in a way the conscious mind often cannot. Final thought. Structure is freedom. All of this, the breath, the visualization, the language, the symbols, isn't a collection of tools. It's a framework, a method, a means of giving depth to your life rather than skating across its surface. The deeper you're thinking, the more dimension you can bring into your reality. This is how you activate your mind's power. This is how you create your own conscious multidimensionality. And with that, we end with word 170, insubstantiality, the case in the desert, and the invitation to keep building word by word, breath by breath, story by story,